Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back to another round of in-depth candle reviews. I hope your day is off to a fabulous start. You guys are actually going to be seeing a number of candle reviews going live on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week here on my channel. I am going to be helping a girlfriend who owns a floral design company with some of her orders this week. She has a lot of corporate and wedding events, and she's a little short-staffed. And if you're new around here, I used to actually own my own floral design company for close to 12 years. Once the old pandemic passed, I opted to kind of pull away from doing floral work. Honestly, I had just done it for a really long time, and doing weddings for over a decade is, man, it's hard not only on your body, it's also hard on your brain. Weddings are not easy. So anyway, I have enjoyed my break from floral work, but I kind of feel like it's calling to me again. And when she reached out and asked if I would be able to help her with some design work this week, I definitely sprung at the opportunity. So if you've been with me for a while, especially over on Instagram, and you have missed some of my stories while I'm putting orders together, you'll see some of those this week. So join me over on Instagram and I will show you guys what I am up to in terms of some corporate and wedding orders. The wedding that we're doing for Saturday is at a beautiful estate, so it's gonna be a real stunner. These people, they're the kind of people that were like, oh, we don't have a budget, just, make it beautiful. And if there's anyone that can absolutely pull that off, it's definitely my friend Paige. So I'm really excited to show you what she has cooked up. So join me over on the old Insta. But that also means that I'm not gonna be around the house as much this week, which means that I'm gonna have to film videos at like kind of odd times of the day. And quite frankly, filming these candle reviews is a little bit easier than filming some other type of content. So that's what we're going with. Hope you guys are excited about candle reviews. So if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button. That way all of these subsequent candle reviews will pop up in your subscription feed as they go live here on my channel. So in today's videos, there are 3 that are gonna be going live. We're obviously kicking it off with Apple Crisp here from Bath & Body Works. But you should also see at least 1 Kringle candle review and then potentially 1 Homeworks review, if not an additional Kringle candle review. So I've got lots of Bath & Body Works, I've got lots of Kringle, and I've got lots of Homeworks that need to be reviewed. So if you're into this kind of stuff, stick around. All right, Apple Crisp. First of all, love this scent. I have a tiny disappointment with this candle. I do wish it was just a little bit stronger, but listen, it's a great fragrance. And I've just kind of put it in areas where it's able to be a little bit more concentrated. So, it's working out fine, but I do wish that this one was just a touch stronger, but the fragrance itself it's delightful. I do have my trusty old friend here, my very last Apple Crumble, in my Bath & Body Works candle collection. I decided to go ahead and pull this one out because I definitely see some similarities between Apple Crumble and Apple Crisp. They're not exactly the same. There are some subtleties for sure, but I do think that when they were creating this Apple Crisp, but that they may have had the old Apple Crumble in mind when they were developing this. All right. We're gonna go ahead and dig in with the fragrance notes. I will tell you what I smell. I'll tell you what I think the similarities are with the Apple Crumble here. We'll talk strength and throw, which is where some of my disappointment lies, and then we'll obviously talk overall burn quality. Okay, first of all, they say that this smells like baking a warm, gooey treat after a day of apple picking. The notes are caramelized apple, cinnamon crumble, and sugared oats. So what am I smelling in Apple Crisp? First of all, the apple note that I'm detecting in here is very much, I feel like caramelized apple is probably the best way to explain it. But what I mean by that is I smell like a very warm, gooey, almost like a baked apple, that, let's see. It's not that it has a bunch of caramel like in it, but it's almost like they took a baked apple and then drizzled the slightest amount of caramel over top, because I do get a little bit of that kind of intense caramel sweetness here with this apple note. But if you've been here for a little while, you know that caramel is really a note that's kind of difficult for me with a lot of fragrances, because I feel like it tends to like be in the forefront, and a lot of times it just gets cloying to my nose. This is way more focused on that like juicy, like warmed apple. And I would probably say that it's maybe like a bit of like a Macintosh type of apple note. It's very sweet. I don't think it's a very tart apple note. In this apple crumble here, and I'm gonna review the fragrance notes really quickly. Yeah, so in this apple crumble, the notes are Granny Smith, Macintosh apples topped with vanilla crumble, cinnamon, and nutmeg. So I don't smell any Granny Smith in the apple crisp. I do smell the Granny Smith in here. I smell the Macintosh in the apple crisp, and I also smell Macintosh in here. So I feel like the similarity is probably that baked Macintosh apple note for sure. In terms of the cinnamon, there is a decent spice component to the apple crisp, but it's a very soft approach to cinnamon. First of all, it's not red hot cinnamon. It is a very soft Ceylon type of cinnamon note. Very pleasant, does not overpower the fragrance. Is it sugared oats? Sorry, I have to pull that up. Sugared oats. Okay, this sugared oats component is kind of an interesting one, because I think it actually ends up smelling a little bit more like a traditional crumble topping than like a sugared oats type crumble topping, if that makes sense. I'm really not smelling oats in the apple crisp. What I'm smelling is the type of streusel topping that you see on the label here for the apple crumble. So think like that concoction of flour, butter, and sugar, and then a little touch of cinnamon, and then sprinkle that over top of that baked apple note. That's what this apple crisp smells like to my nose. It's really perfectly blended. I love the scent. It is a classic. Do I think it's as delicious as the apple crumble? I mean, it's pretty close. Listen, I think I really like the addition of that tart Granny Smith note in the original apple crumble, but I think the Macintosh note that I'm smelling in apple crisp that's really well done. So I think if they added that Granny Smith note to the apple crisp, it would smell remarkably similar to this this apple crumble here. Both great fragrances, and if you love an apple streusel, apple crumble type fragrance, I don't think you can go wrong with apple crisp. I will say, it looks like it's already sold out online, which is crazy, but it is. We are working our way through October, so I feel like at this point, Bath & Body Works has already moved on to Christmas candles. But yeah, it's still available in store in all of the stores in my area. I went ahead and, changed my store location on the website, and all of the stores in my area still have this in stock. So if you want this, you can still get it, but you might have to head in store. I would highly recommend checking it out. I actually think this apple crisp type fragrance can be wonderful throughout the entire holiday season. So even though the label might be a little bit more conducive, to fall decor, you can always pop it into, one of the candle sleeves and it'll be great. I don't know. I love apple crisp fragrances around the holidays as well. And if you can still get your hands on this one, I would highly recommend it for the fragrance itself. It's lovely. Strength and Throw, guys. Okay, this is where I just have a little bit of disappointment with this candle. I feel like over the years, Bath & Body Works Strength and Throw has definitely waned a little bit, whereas for the most part, I could usually easily get like an 8 or a 9 in terms of Strength and Throw out of the vast majority of Bath & Body Works candles. I find that that's more of like the exception at this point. The strength and throw of this one is only about, I would say, between like a 6 and a 7. There are some burns where I feel like I can smell this one a little bit more, and typically those are the burns where I either pop a candle sleeve around the candle, which heats, allows the candle to get a little bit hotter, which then I think helps with releasing some more of those fragrance oils. Or I have also had this in my Chester Hurricane, and I think that that has helped to amp it up just a little bit as well. But it really doesn't go much beyond a 7 with the candle sleeve and the Hurricane. So I do wish there was a little more oomph to this one, but it's fine. It's fine. Listen, I usually have another candle going at the same time anyway, so I don't need just one candle to fill my entire house. I'm not going to make that a requirement, but I do wish that we could kind of go back to the olden days of strength and throw with Bath and Body Works. But I mean, listen, it is what it is. If a candle completely duds out on me, I will just pop it into a crock, and that usually solves the problem. So, but this one's doing okay right now. The throw, I would probably put around a 6. It travels, it doesn't travel super far. So yeah, listen, it's a decent performance. This is not unscented by any stretch of the imagination, but once again, I'm just reminiscing and missing, you know, the old days of strength and throw when it comes to Bath and Body Works. Let's talk the burn quality. So you'll be able to see here that this is not completely pulled out yet. I'm not sure, is it going to show up? Okay, you can kind of see it. Yeah. This has those really thick rope-like wicks, which I absolutely detest. But I have to say, as of right now, it's still doing pretty okay. Every once in a while, I can get one of these thick wick candles to perform really well for me. Other times, they basically dud out on me. So right now, based on how this is doing at the halfway point, I imagine that I'll be able to actually finish burning this one. So that is what I will do. You can see that the wax is not yet discolored in any kind of way. There's no sooting on the side of the jar, and it is pulling out very evenly and very quickly. So it burns quite hot, I will say. The side of the jar is pretty warm as of right now already. But it gets even hotter once you really get going with this one. So keep that in mind. Overall, I'm still giving this one 2 big fat thumbs up because I like the fragrance so much. And like I said, it does kind of take me back to the days of this one. By the way, I am finally going to be lighting up this Apple Crumble here, which I think that I have had in my collection for so many years. I bought this when the candles were $20. You see that $20 label right there? Isn't that wild? Is it going to show up? Oh, there we go. Isn't that wild? $20. Wow. It's been a while. Man, it smells good. And these are good wicks too. It's fine. You'll see this one in the weekly home fragrance roundup. If not this week, then probably next week. But moral of the story is, I love the Apple Crisp. If you picked up Apple Crisp, let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Normally, I would link this for you in the description box. I'll see if I can still link it, and then, you know, you can pop in your zip code there and see if any of your stores have it in stock before you bother making your way there. But yeah, let me know if you plan on picking this one up. I really appreciate you guys being here. If you found this video helpful, give it a big fat thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new, and stay tuned for some more in-depth candle reviews.